Young people are voting. A national poll of America's 18 to 29-year-olds released today by the Institute of Politics at Harvard Kennedy School found historic interest in the upcoming election. We covered this in the newsletter this morning, with a higher proportion of respondents indicating that they will definitely be voting than has been observed in the past 20 years since these polls have been conducted. So here is the new Harvard. Here's the Harvard new study that came out this morning. The Harvard Youth Poll. They looked at 18 to 29-year-olds. Historic interest in the upcoming election. Most in decades. And so President Trump is shaking this morning because overwhelmingly, according to this study, the number of people who are voting for Biden, overwhelmingly the number of young people are voting for Biden. Not surprising. They have great voter turnout. You have all these TikTok celebrities and Hollywood types doing all this stuff on Instagram, and all these Hollywood elites. Get out there and vote. It's a way to make a change. We care about the environment, right? Everything's going to change under Biden is how they're spinning this. That's how it'll all be different under Biden. So all these young people that a lot of them, were Bernie Sanders supporters, and then they see Bernie out there saying, hey, I couldn't get much done, but now you got to go with Biden. That's where the real deal is now. But they're going to vote, and they're lining up to do so. But not all of them. Some people are not actually fooled by this. Some people are not actually fooled by all of this elite liberal media and all of these rich Hollywood celebrities who are getting out there on Twitter and Facebook and doing all these fundraisers and stuff. It's fun to watch this on YouTube, right? All these like 80s stars who are popping back up doing stuff and trying to get people to vote. Got to vote for Biden. I even saw Mark Hamill the other day. I follow him on Twitter. Mark Hamill, of course, Luke Skywalker. I love the guy. However, I saw him tweet something the other night where he said, I just can't wait till Biden wins and we can go back to normal where I can just go back to tweeting cat pictures or fun animal pictures. Because that's what's about to happen with all of these young people, is they can all go back to sleep. As soon as Biden wins and nothing changes, they can pretend that they've fulfilled their destiny and they can go back to sleep. But not all of these young people. This has been going viral, and the reason that this is going viral, this video, is because it's rare that MSNBC or any of the mainstream media are going to cover stories like this, where they actually tell the truth about what's happening among undecided voters. And over on MSNBC, they have this little town hall where they have all these people socially distanced out on a park bench somewhere. They're like, why are you haven't figured out who you're voting for yet? Don't you watch MSNBC? We've been telling you for months. Don't vote for Sanders. Don't vote for Bernie Sanders. You got to vote for Biden. Don't you remember Barack Obama, the good old days? So MSNBC did this video. And the reason it's going viral is because, like I said, they don't ever do these types of segments. So once in a rare moment, you get these flashes of truth on the mainstream media. Watch this group of young black women sit down with Christine Jansen over at MSNBC and respond and being asked why they're still undecided. We couldn't figure it out. So we just had to ask these women, why aren't they voting for Biden? Can you tell us why not? Listen.
I am totally undecided. I'd write your name in at this point.
Usually by now I would have voted already, but I'm just not comfortable with either one of them right now.
What are you looking for? What do you need to hear?
Let's start at the crime bill and the fact.
What are you looking for? Really? Hasn't Biden given you everything you need? What do you need to hear? That's what we're trained to do, right? Is just to hear platitudes from these politicians. What do you need to hear? What do you need to hear? How will that make you feel? What do you need to hear at this point? Will that make you feel any better if you just hear the words?
But I'm just not comfortable with either one of them right now.
What are you looking for?
What are you
need
looking
to hear?
for?
Let's start.
What are you looking for? What do you need to hear? Come on. Haven't you seen Biden?
Come on, man.
What are you looking for? Well, now we get some real answers here. Listen to what we're looking for. Listen to these women who are sick and tired of being spoon-fed this garbage.
At the crime bill and the fact that he has not only not apologized, not only
Joe
not
Biden.
he is not only not rectified. Every time he reverts back to, well, it was the Black Caucus members in the church, but they were with it too. Okay, you fooled them as well.
You know, you never said I'm sorry. You know, it's like I didn't do it.
I want to hear an ironclad plan.
So the very first thing they talk about is the thing that basically, you know, it got swept under the rug during the debate, got brought up a little bit, the crime bill. And at least Biden was conciliatory and said that it was a mistake. But he's never come out and apologized for it. Yeah, the crime bill that has locked up a disproportionate number of young black people in this country for basically the same type of non-violent drug offense that white people don't get locked up for. Oh, because they use crack cocaine, they get locked up and get the keys thrown away. The white guy, the Hunter Biden, uses cocaine. He's fine. He's not going to prison. Can't talk about that, can we? We can't talk about that. I'm surprised MSNBC just didn't cut it short, but they let it go. The reason that so many young black men are incarcerated in this country, you know, 1 out of 50 children in this country have one member of their family in prison. In fact, we covered it in the newsletter this morning, I think, in a group that is doing a fantastic job of actually trying to allow these individuals who are behind bars with nonviolent drug offenses to be able to vote. The fact that we have to have, and it's an amazing organization, you should check it out. I'll have a link in the show notes for it. It's the sentencingproject.org. We wrote a whole story about it today in the newsletter. They've done an amazing job of trying, getting voting booths in prisons so these people can go and vote in prisons because of the disenfranchisement. So check out the Sentencing Project. But the fact that we have to, even have a group like this that's helping people get their voter rights. 5.2 million Americans cannot vote because of a felony conviction. 1 out of every 16 African Americans has lost their voting rights due to felony disenfranchisement. 1 in every 59 non-black voters versus 1 in every 59 non-black voters. Do you think that's not... You want to talk about systemic racism? It's part of the system that was written into law and championed by Joe Biden. Let's listen more.
I don't want to hear if this or if that or after the election.
Does the presence of Kamala Harris on the Democratic ticket sway you at all?
Not at all. I don't know who said she had our vote.
Mainstream media did. Because in the days after Kamala Harris was selected as the vice presidential nominee on the Democratic ticket, there was just like swooning going on. Talking about how much money the Biden campaign is raising now, all this money from Hollywood pouring in, all of these limo liberals that we were talking about, right? All of that money pouring in from Hollywood. Because we can feel good about ourselves. I love Larry David, creator of Seinfeld. But it's that same group of people that always come around this time, throw their money behind these types of candidates so they can feel good about themselves, so they can go back to their golf course, play more golf, hang out with Al Gore, go sit around and watch Inconvenient Truth movies together. And then they can just turn a blind eye. So Biden gets in there, he's going to win. And then what happens? Any change for these women? So these women are not fooled by this. Yeah, we have all of these young people voting. That's great. But my biggest fear is that we end up, we have all of these young people voting, according to this new Harvard Kennedy School of Politics poll that just came out this morning, an overwhelming, almost historic level of young people voting. But they're being lied to. My fear, my hope is that this group of young people is mobilized into action. Listen to them. Listen to these women.
Does not. We were supposed to grab onto Kamala with the black girl magic, but that didn't happen because she didn't right her wrongs.
Like, I hold officials accountable. I don't care what color you are. And I think that too often we automatically think that because someone looks like you, that they're going to have your best interests at heart. And that's just not.
That's just not true. So what are the choices? All these people, Trump or Biden? Trump, who's been a narcissistic nut job, rolling back regulation in hundreds of different areas across the country to allow big companies to go forth and pollute as much as they want. Clean water, clean streams, rivers, clean air. That's your choice. That's one choice. Misogynistic, grab him by the you-know-what, Donald Trump. Or Joe Biden, the guy who voted to expand our military footprint 20%, continue these foreign wars, expand the number of wars we were in from 2 to 7 under Barack Obama, vote for the crime bill, which has a disproportionate level of incarceration for young black people in this country, destroying families for the same types of drug offenses that whites get away with. It's inconvenient to talk about. I don't want to talk about this. It's uncomfortable. If you want to be comfortable, then just be spoon-fed from CNN or MSNBC or Fox, your typical talking points. But we're not talking about it enough. Biden has 40 years of examples of why you shouldn't vote for him. Trump has 4 years of examples of why you shouldn't vote for him. So what's the middle? What do you do? What are the solutions? So these women are like, I don't know what to do. She says at the beginning, at this point, I'm just going to write your own name in. That's what she said at the beginning. I feel like I'm going to write your name in as a write-in candidate.
I am totally undecided. I'd write your name in at this point.
Usually by now,
I'd write your name in at this point. This stuff didn't start under President Trump. This stuff started many years ago. And so you want to blame all of the ills of the world on President Trump? Okay, if that makes you feel better. You think, well, if I vote for a third-party candidate, then I'm just throwing away my vote. Okay, if you think that. I don't think that. Again, I come back to one big thing we could do to change all of this is ranked choice voting. And this can happen with all of you at the state level demanding that this be the way of the land in your state. Maine managed to pull it off. The state of Maine managed to pull it off. Again, I keep talking about ranked choice voting, which means you get to vote based on your conscience. If you want to vote for Joe Jorgensen in Maine as your first choice, guess what? The second choice, you can pick Joe Biden because you know what? If Joe Jorgensen doesn't get 50% of the popular vote or of the popular vote there, then it bumps down to the second choice. You're ranking your choices. Yeah, you want number 1, you want Joe Jorgensen. Number 2, you want Howie Hawkins. Number 3, you want Mark Charles, Native American candidate. Number 4, you want Trump, in that order. That's how it works. That's how the state of Maine works. That's how this entire election process should work. Drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. I love this video, though. It's one of those rare moments from the mainstream media. And I love that they only found 3 women, by the way. Hey, can you guys go out and find 3 black women? We just, we've been totally in the tank for Biden. Can we just go do a segment where we pretend that we have some objectivity? Can you find 3 black women for me, please, who are undecided? I don't know. Where do they hang out? Let's send Christine Jansen down there. Chris Jansen, whatever her name is. Let me know. Am I wrong? What do you disagree with? Am I right? Drop me a comment below. I'll read them all. And don't forget to subscribe. And because I see so many of you are watch the show, but then YouTube tells me that only 70% or 30% of you are actually subscribed to the channel. We do this show live, 9 a.m. Eastern time every day, covering the stories that are uncomfortable and real. And they make me uncomfortable to cover, to be honest with you. But that's why I know I'm doing something right. When I get uncomfortable, then I know that we're on to something right. Right? We only grow through discomfort. If it's so easy, then no one would do it, right?